गणेश गिरिजासुवं मंगलमूरसुजा कहत योध्यादास देवो है वरदान। जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय गणपति वे हरि गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय रंगोधर पीतांबर सोहे हरिमलि मुकुटर यंद करारी गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि जय जय गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति मोर करीत जीत जननी जग तुम कचल कनो पुर जनकारी मोर करीत जीत जननी जग तुम कचल कनो पुर जनकारी रिद्धि सिद्धि लो चमक दुरावत रिद्धि सिद्धि लो चमक दुरावत सुर समोह गति होत सुभावे गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि गणपति वे नवीनाशन हरि श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुरा वरनो रघुवर विमल यश जोदायक फलचा बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देव मोहि अलहु करे सविकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु कहु जागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल रामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमत निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरन विराज सुवेशा कानल कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और गदा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए संजीवन लखन धियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षुर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत भराई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस वरन तुम्हरो यश गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद शारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सचयाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना राम मिलाए राजपद दीना। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लीलोताहि मधुर पर जानु। प्रभु मोदिका मेरी मुख माही जल गिरा गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवाले होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख रहे तुम्हारे शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हाथ के कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ज्ञान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। साधु युग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलावे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सराल हो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को भावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंतकाल रघुपर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त काई। और देवता चित्त न धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई। कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सरवार बात कर कोई छूत ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यहाँ पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा कोई सीधी साथी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हर तेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महादेवा। की जय नाथ हृदय महादेवा। पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक। जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक। जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक। तेरी छवि अति सुंदर सुखदायक। तेरी छवि अति सुंदर सुखदायक। जय गणपति वंदन गणनायक। जय गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन, शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन। मोदक प्रिय मुध मंगल दाता, मोदक प्रिय मुध मंगल दाता, विद्यावादेहि बोधि विधाता, विद्यावादेहि बोधि विधाता, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन। मंगत तुलसीदास कर जोरे, मंगत तुलसीदास कर जोरे, वास ही राम सिया मानस मोरे, वास ही राम सिया मानस मोरे, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन। सिद्धि सदन गजवरन विनायक, सिद्धि सदन गजवरन विनायक, कृपा सिंधु सुंदर सब लायक, कृपा सिंधु सुंदर सब लायक, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन, शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गाई गणपति जगवंदन, गणपति जगवंदन, गणपति जगवंदन।
अंतुषे ओम गं गणपते नमो नमः, सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम गं गणपतये
नमो नमः, श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, अष्टविनायक नमो नमः, गणपति बाबा मोरया।
गं गणपतये नमो नमः, सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः, गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा। ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम गं
गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः
अष्टविनायक नमो नमः
गणपति बाबा मोरिया।
ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम
गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया।
ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया।
गं गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया।
ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। ओम गं गणपतये नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरिया। जय 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 गणपति देवा जय 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 गणपति देवा जय 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 गणपति देवा जय जय जय
जय गणपति देवा
गजानना हे गजानना गजानना
हे गजानना
हे गजानना हे गजानना गजानना
हे गजानना
गजानना हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा गजानना हे गणपति देवा
गजानना हे गणपति देवा
जय 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 गणपति देवा जय जय जय
जय गणपति देवा
जय 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 गणपति देवा जय
जय जय जय गणपति देवा
माता पार्वती पिता महादेवा माता पार्वती पिता
महादेवा
हे माता पार्वती पिता महादेवा माता
पार्वती पिता महादेवा
गजानना हे गणपति देवा
गजानना हे गणपति देवा
हे गजानना हे गणपति देवा
गजानना हे गणपति देवा
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश शरणं 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 शिवानंदन गणपति गणेश
शिवानंदन
गणेश गौरी गणेश
उमामहेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे गणपति बापा मोरिया मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया गणपति बापा मोरिया मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे हे मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे
हे गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा महेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश
पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश
Okay, all who have to be on the stage now, come on, please. No movement again after that. Good girl. Hey, Puran. गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपेटजम्भोफलसारभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपारपङ्कजम् या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वतीरूपेण संस्कृतम् नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरम् गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः नागेन्द्रहारं त्रिलोचनायां भस्माङ्ग्रगाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै नकाराय Namah Shivaya. Om Anjani Garbhasan Mukho Vayu Putro Mahabhom Kumaro Brahmachari Cham Hanuman me prasidha me. Om Bhur Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargadevasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonam Prachodayam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhanaktu Saha Vidyam Karvavahem Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishabhem. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem se bole Sri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. Devotees and friends, at this time, I call on the Vice President of Dharam Ki Awaj to welcome each and every one of you and to just identify a few of the things that we are doing as a group. You're good day.
Sitaram devotees and friends, welcome to the third night of our Ganesh Utsav celebrations, and so happy to see all of you here tonight. Dharam Ki Awaj was a group formed with awakening consciousness in mind. Are you fed up of your life? We trying so many things in life and just not reaching anywhere? Dharam Ki Awaj and Pandit Vishnu can show you how to live, how we can achieve what we need to do in this earth. There are 4 pillars of existence in this earth for humans, and that's Dharma, Art, Kam, and Moksha. Before Dharam Ki Awaj and before getting into the spiritual life, I used to be trying all kind of things, doing all kind of things, and I still couldn't really see well why things wasn't working out my way. And it's only when I started to devote myself to the feet of my guru and started to follow his teachings and the way of Sanatana Dharma, it's only then you could see that everything in your life just fall in place. So Dharam Ki Awaj was formed just a short while ago, and we started to live by that principle. And we have seen so much success in our life, not in everything we do. Everything that happens in our life happens for a reason. And no matter where you are in life, always remember, you are responsible for where you are. Right? Our group, apart from doing spiritual work, we do seva work also. We try to build communities and help assist people in the community. We also try to develop our youth. We have a good youth arm that always work well with us, and they plan so much functions together. 2 years ago, we did our sports and family day, and it was a real success, and hats off to the youths. They really did a fantastic job. They are into music now. If you notice our group, most of them are more youths on the stage here. So they are pushing themselves and developing themselves into music also. So they are on the right track, guys. And well, the older folks like myself, and they stay in the back, and we urge the youths on. I would also say thanks to Pandit Vishnu, our spiritual leader and our guru. Without your guidance and your wisdom, we could not have achieved what we're supposed to achieve so far. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Pandit Jai, for being part of our group also and really helping us out and guiding us through. Thank you so much. Sitaram.
प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. So, children of God, again welcome this evening. Welcome to Bahaji Ramesh and Sankhya TV. And Dharam Ki Awaaj is all about succession planning. What happens beyond our time? And at the commencement of the group and prior to that, all our functions was Pandit Jai and myself alone, toiling and moving along. Within the last year, opportunity had come through the Chinmaya mission where they were training Pandits. We have sent 3 of our members. One, for some reason, did not follow through. But you would have seen the product of that sacrifice, and you would have seen succession planning when you would have seen 2 younger Pandit managing each one of the murtis and Pandit Jai managing one. Usually it would have been I or Pandit Jai doing 2 and one of us doing 1. But today, because of that planning and because of that training, we are able to have Nirav, who is very close to be going out there, and also Ganesh. They have studied, they have done over a year and a half of studies with the Chinmaya mission, Pandit training, and the opportunity came to them that they can practice what they have learned in their training as we had the Ganesh Utsav. And we are not going to hold them back. Pandit Jai and I, there would be a time that we will stand back and we will watch them as they perform, because we want Dharam Ki Awaaj to be beyond us. And we do hope when they too become old people, they would have somebody to move ahead. If we do not have succession planning, my dear friends, the group will then collapse at some point in time. And this is our work, this is where we are going. And as I said, we all spend quite a lot of time with our youths which is led by Nikhil and all the boys around him and girls. They do a fantastic job. Om Gam Ganapate Namo Namah Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah Ashta Vinayaka Namo Namah Ganapati Baba Moria. Om Gam Ganapate Namo Namah Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah Ashta-vinayaka namo namah Ganapati Baba Moria. Gam Ganapati namo namah Siddhi-vinayaka namo namah Ashta-vinayaka namo namah Ganapati Baba.
Gam Ganapataye namo namah Vinayaka namo namah Ashta Vinayaka namo namah Ganapati Baba Moria.
Om Gam Ganapate namo namah Siddhi Vinayaka namo namah Ashta Vinayaka namo namah Ganapati Baba Moria. Om Gam Ganapataye namo namah Siddhi Vinayaka namo namah
Ashta Vinayaka namo namah Ganapati Baba Moria.
Gam Ganapataye namo namah Siddhi Vinayaka namo namah Ashta Vinayaka namo namah Ganapati Baba बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे
बम बोले बम बोले बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे
कोई चरावे पान फूल कोई चरावे माला
कोई चरावे पान फूल कोई चरावे माला
कोई मंगन मांग रही गोरे ले भला मेरे बम बोले
बम बोले बम बोले बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे
बम बोले बम बोले बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे
शिव बम बोले रे
शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे शिव बम बोले रे प्रेम से बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की. So our katha continues from last night, and last evening I know you all were expecting to get a vision of Sri Ganesh. Instead of Brahmaji gave us that vision in a mantra, and he gave us two mantras. Om stands by itself, and then he gave us the one syllable mantra Gam. Om Gam. And then he gave us Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om. So my dear friends, this evening we are going to see where Brahmaji takes our katha. Let us listen as we commence. Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai 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 Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai
गणपति जय जय
Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान हे ब्रह्मता व्यास जी पुण्यहीन मुनिष्यों को कथा श्रवण में कोई रुचि नहीं होती जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान मैं तुमको इसे आप संपद्धति काम संज्ञा का रूप के बोधकरण है जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान जो शिष्य विशेष स्नेह भजन और अधिका प्रज्ञावान हो उसने से कुछ भी ज्ञान की भात गुंफा नहीं रखनी चाहिए जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान मैंने तुमको बात लाई है कि भगवान गणेश ओढ़ा कर स्वरूप है जय जय श्री गणेश निर्भी ध्यान ताकि कर्म करने वालों के द्वार उन भी ध्यान हरता विनायका जी का पूजन सभी करियो के जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान आरंभा की किया जात है अन्यतावः कार्यामे विद्या ने करा देते हैं। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान,
जय श्री गणेश
जय जय भगवान। जय जय गणपति जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति। ओ जय जय गणपति जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति। All together, come on. जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति, जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति, गणेश भगवान की जय। So devotees and friends, our katha this evening comments and it tells to us that the great sage Vyasji is telling to Brahma, and he's saying, "O Brahmaji, having drunk of your ambrosia words, I have become very attentive. I want to hear about that great mantra. Who have recited it? And what gain and success?" Excuse me. What gain and success did they have from Gajananam? As you are my only teacher, resolve my own certainty. O Brahmaji, help me so that I can understand this situation. And Brahmaji said to Vyasji, he says, "O my son, good and great is your question. For you have asked not only for yourself, but you have asked for the benefit of all." It says, those who are without merit show no concern, for hearing the glories of Gajananam, Sri Ganesha. So those without merit will not want, they have no interest in these katha. And my dear friends, you will find such people also coming to the Yajnashala, who comes to the Yajnashala for some other purpose than listening to the glories of Gajananam. So he says those people, who have no merit will not be concerned about this. But you are very concerned, and this is why you have asked the question. I will teach you the correct method of worship. For nothing can be kept from a devoted student who is very wise. You have been told that the illustrious Gajananayak exists in that syllable Om. Devotees and friends, Brahma is saying nothing is enough. Whatever the true devotee wants, the true teacher will grant it unto them. And devotees and friends, we saw, I think it's last night or the very first night, I can't remember which night, but I'll repeat that line, where it says that pure devotees will be of service. They will be dasas. They will be servants of the divine being. Prem Subhra Shri Ramchandra Bhagavani ki jai. So he continues to tell to us. He says, nothing is too much for those devotees. My dear friends, there are some pathway of dharma If you do not attend service, the priest will not service you. They might send somebody who is second or third in the ranking to service you, but they will not come themselves because you have shown no interest. So you must not only believe that standing aside and watching us on the social media is enough. No. You need to come out. You need to attend. That is what satsang is all about. The meeting of the divine souls. The meeting and bringing together that divine vibration. That is what is satsang. If you remain at home, then the satsang pandit will, what you will have? You remember that wonderful little story I told you last night? About half of the state have milk and half doesn't have. And the half that have milk, the king asks each person to come and fill a tank a morning at 3 o'clock. And everybody think the other one will come and nobody came. So too, my dear friends, the same thing will happen in satsang. If everybody sit down here and say, well, okay, I will wait on Sankhya and I'll wait on Pandit Vishnu Live and I'll wait on www.dharamkiawaj.sevasabha.com and you stay home. Who will help Pandit build that vibration, that human vibration, that aura that we talk about some nights back, which everyone have? Who would help do that? So my dear friends, it says that nothing is too much for the guru to give to the true student. Devotees and friends, Brahma tells to us that Gajanana, that Shri Ganesh exists in the syllable Om, that Gajananam. Those not wishing for any obstacles in their life, and I want you to listen carefully as Brahma speaks, those who wish for no obstacles in their life will worship Vinayaka, another form of Sri Ganesha. Prem Sri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. So my dear friends, it says here, for if for some reason you will not worship Sri Ganesha, obstacles will automatically come in your path, in your way. So devotees and friends, he says you must worship and you must do those mantras. Om, Gam, Om. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. How it go again? Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om. Brahma Ji is telling us here that we must start our mantra with Om and we must end our mantra with Om. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om. Sri Ganesha. And if you do not put the mantras in its perspective, it says nothing will come to you. So says the great sages and all the celestial singers and everybody else. Let us listen now. Hence, there is certainly no one superior to Sri Ganesh. And Brahma is telling to us, there is no one superior to Sri Ganesh. Let us listen again as he continue now to tell to us. Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai 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 Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai 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 Ganapati, Jai Ganapati. जय जय भगवान
जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान।
उस कथा में बतलाया गया है कि भगवान गणेश जी मंत्रराज। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान, जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। के जाप से कैसे संतुष्टम हुई थी। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। एक बार दैव योग से प्रलय होने पर तीव्रम बहु से धूत कर्म पर्वत चारू दिशाओं में गिर गई थी। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान,
जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान।
आकाश में ढोदशम अधीत्या एक सत्य प्रकट। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान, जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। होकर महान जल राशि का शोषणी करके तप रहे थे। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान,
जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान।
जय जय गणपति, जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति, जय
जय गणपति, जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति।
जय जय गणपति,
जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति।
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। He says, I will now tell to you a traditional katha of Sri Ganesh and how Sri Ganesh was caused and the satisfaction through the recitation of the king of mantras. What happens? It tells to us once, due to the force of fate, the cosmic destruction had begun. The mountain was shattered by the winds and fell in every direction. 12 suns were burning and having dried up the great ocean. And a huge fire, garlanded with flames, burnt everything that could have been seen in this world. It says, and if that was not enough, the great Samvartak clouds came down with great showers and once more filled the oceans and all of that. And so, my dear friends, the rivers and the ocean overstepped their boundaries, and so every single thing was destroyed upon the face of the earth. And this was some time back, but it is telling to us that in this Kali age, Kalki is coming. And in 3 days, Kalki is going to destroy this entire earth. And it says that Kalki is coming riding on a white horse. How can a horse move through this entire universe and destroy it in 3 days? If you are not prepared, you will go to hell. Mind you, remember that. If you are prepared, then you will take one of the abode a little higher up until your time to return back after. So my dear friends, we are seeing signs where we are seeing souls are leaving now. Great amount of deaths are happening in great and greater amount of numbers. And I can tell you this is over 15 years now. I'm telling you to observe it, and every year that go by, we have seen it getting deeper and deeper and deeper. My dear friends, what will destroy this earth for the 28th time? And that will be the missile. A missile is, the power of the missile is calculated in horsepower. When I read that and I said, Lord, how a horse will destroy this earth in 3 days? And then when I go into my devotion and I saw a horsepower, I understand. And we have seen it happening. Nations, my dear friends, are building weapons of very high magnitude in horsepower, which one day, when one of them feel a little bit crazy, that will it be for the earth. Then, my dear friends, for a few days the fire will run, and then the water will come and wash out everything, and then a few million people will form the new Satyug, which will be the 29th cycle. Which will be the 29th cycle. My dear friends, then you'd say, what happens to you and what happens to me? That's the reason why we have to chant Gam Ganapati Namaha, to make ourselves. We may not be able to reach into that Satyug, but we will be able to elevate ourselves from this Kali age to the higher ages, where we will be able again to live ourselves until we are fortunate to become one with the Supreme Master. Prem Sabal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki. So this was one time when the whole entire earth was destroyed. It says that Gajananam took the form which is smaller than an atomic particle. And then after a very long time had passed, in the state of intense darkness, there appeared the one syllable filled with the Brahma sound. Prem Sabal Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki. Let us listen again. Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai. He Muni tab un Ganesh ji ki maya se भ्रमिता होकर वे तीनों देवा उत्सुक होकर आपने उस जन का के दर्शन हेतु तात यहाँ पूछने काली कि हमें कौन से कर्म करना चाहिए। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान, जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान। इस जिज्ञासा से सर्वप्रथम उन्नरधार लोकों में एक से स्वर्गां को देखने के उन्तर अंतरिक्षा में टी रहे जाकर भांत में पाताल में गए। उन्होंने कहे भी परम आत्मा गणेश जी को नहीं देखतो तब उन्होंने अत्यंता कठोरा तप किया। जय श्री गणेश। जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान,
जय श्री गणेश जय जय भगवान,
जय जय गणपति,
जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति, जय 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 गणपति, जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति, जय 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 गणपति, जय गणपति, जय गणेश जय गणपति।
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। So devotees and friends, what followed, it says, after a long time, that divine Lord then created, out of the darkness, he created 3 divisions. Those divisions were known as Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. So that was the 3 divisions that he made. It came into being from Sri Ganesha. And there arose, my dear friends, 3 gods thereafter. The 3 gods were Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And through his Maya, the entire 3 worlds, both moving and unmoving, was constructed. Children of God, what the Divine Lord is telling to us here today, it tells to us that Ganesh Bhagwan was before this form when Parvati brought him into this world. And I want to refer you back again to one of the nights when Vyasji was trying to translate the Vedas into the Puranas. Because I do not want you to leave here confused this evening. Because when the Navaratri starts and I start doing Devi Puran will tell to you, Shakti Ma would say that from me came Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and then I subdivided myself into 3, Saraswati, Lakshmi and Parvati. And then that confusion will come. But excuse me. I want you to remember, my dear friends, what Vyasji told to Brahma. He said, "Oh Brahma, I wanted to write the Puranas so that I can put the meaning of the Vedas in the Puranas. And when you follow the Vedas, my dear friends, you will see the objective and the main goal of the Vedas is Brahman, Ishwar, that one which is without a second. So in all the Puranas, you will find that the chief of that Purana that Ved Vyasa is writing about will tell to you of that supreme. Because, my dear friends, it will identify that absolute Lord, that Brahman, that Ishwar in each one of the Puranas. If you do not hear of it, then, my dear friends, there is a little something missing in the relating of that Purana. So whichever Purana you read, just as Ganesh Bhagwan is showing us here the absolute. And that is why I say, small-minded are those people who are explaining Ganesh Bhagwan as a little boy running there and who is vexed with his auntie, his mausi, Lakshmi Mata in the form of Tulsi. Prem se bole Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. So devotees and friends, it tells to us, he says, because of the Maya, the three gods rambled after confused. Each was anxious to see and to question his own father Brahma, because they wish an answer to the question, what duties should be performed? Having investigated 21 heavens from top to bottom, these three who have been formed, my dear friends, they were very, very confused. And if I, as a leader, should bring you together and do not give you purpose, do not give you direction, you too will be confused. Why it is that I am being created? Why am I being here in this position in Dharam Ki Awaaz Seva Sabha? We all must have purpose. Everything that you do in life, why are you born? Your life must have purpose, my dear friends. Your life must have purpose. If your life have no purpose, then you are like a cloud without rain. Your life must have direction. If you do not have direction, your life is like a cloud without rain. Very useless into this world, friends. So they rambled and they wanted to know what their duties were. And they approached Brahma once more again. So my dear friends, why they were rambling together? It says, there they saw a huge flame, resembling the fire of cosmic destruction. Before them was a mast of fiery energy, resembling, my dear friends, an embodiment of the sun. This fiery energy then took away their sight, and so they became extremely anxious. Because if you are seeing something strange, my dear friends, you do not know what it is, then a little fear will come. And while you're looking at it, you lose sight and you do not know what is happening around you. What will happen? You become anxious because you want to know what will be next. And so, devotees and friends, but they all emerge from the midst of that fiery energy by the way of the sky. It says here, worn out with hunger and thirst, puffing and panting constantly, they were now blaming themselves for behaving in the manner in which they behaved. Because remember, it says they were rumbling, They were rumbling and they became confused. When they saw that now, they became now frightened and they were now blaming themselves. It says, then Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, the overseer of the world. Up to now, Sri Ganesha here in this katha is the creator, the preserver, and the sustainer. He carries the three principles. He is the manager of Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. Yet still up to this point, he is that middle murti, where you are seeing the three heads, representing Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. The purpose. So he still had purpose of creation, sustenance, and absorption. And so, devotees and friends, what happened? With his compassion, because he knew he have created Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and who knows the meaning of everything, devotees and friends, appeared to them in a form pleasant to their eyes. It says he came like a red lotus. He says his fingers and his hands and his feet were beyond words. He had red garment on, like most of you this evening. The peak, my dear friends, of that wonderful mountain was surpassed by the splendor of the texture of his girdle. And there, my dear friends, Ganesh Bhagwan stood before Brahma, Vishnu, and Shivaji, and he stood with 4 beautiful hands. 4 beautiful hands, my dear friends, carrying a spear, a bow, and a shield, lance. The 4 arms, my dear friends, of Ganesha represents the 4 inner attributes of subtle life. They are the manas, the mind, buddhi, the intellect, ahamkar, the ego, and chitta, the consciousness. Devotees and friends, when the thoughts are within our mind and the thoughts are in agitation, agitated, and the whole mind is in a chaotic mode, it says, that, my dear friends, is the mind. That is the mind. Nikhil, your mind ever reach into that stage, son? Very agitated. The thoughts were chaotic because you don't know where to go, how to go, what to do. But it says again now, that is one of the inner instrument, the mind. It says, however, when you started to discriminate now and you start to prioritize, hey, listen, my mind cannot read me like this. My mind cannot rule me like this. So you start to think now and you start to put your mind in order. That is the intellect at work. That is the buddhi. That is the buddhi which will lead you to wisdom, which will give you realization. Devotees and friends, it says, when the mind starts to discriminate and assess the thoughts, and so willingly you start putting things in place, leaving back certain things, your intellect causes you to have desires. Your intellect causes you to have wishes. And so, my dear friends, this is the function of the intellect. The ego in us, my dear friends, help us to understand. The I and the mine and the you and the yours, it helps us to understand this physical body. The ego, my dear friends, will project itself. And so when the ego projects itself, if we do not use the intellect, the ego will carry away the mind, which is the Ravan which took away the Sita and took her into Lanka. Because Sita have allowed the intellect, that one who is the austerity, the penance, the tapas, Lakshman, away from her company. So anytime you stop thinking, my dear friends, the ahamkar, the ego, will work with the restless mind and it will move you away and carry you into banishment. It will carry you into the tamogun, and that embodiment of that which is laziness. I hope none of you reached there yet. I hope when it's 6 o'clock in the morning, all of you are ready to get up in the morning and you have no trouble. If not, my dear friends, you have that streak of Ravan in you. You have to get it out. You have to get it out. Laziness restlessness again when we do not want to perform our devotion. And we request from Baba, Baba, you can't do it for me, boy. I go pay you so much and so much. Yes, they're paying quite a lot of money now for Baba to do something for them, and it doesn't happen. Baba will take the money and he will try something, but he still, until you don't do it yourself, you would not be able to be successful. My dear friends, once you do not use your intellect, the power of reasoning and the power of choice, the power of reasoning and the power of choice goes with the intellect. And if you don't use it, then your restless mind, and the mind by nature is a restless thing. It is like the monkey. It is like the monkey jumping from one branch to another branch and yet still to another branch. You have to use the intellect. And the Hanumanji, the self-realized principles, the attributes, my dear friends, of Hanumanji, to bring that mind and ahamkar in control. And then the chitta, the consciousness, will be flavored by divinity. If not, my dear friends, and you allow it to roam, and you allow the restless mind and the ahamkar, the ego, the I, the mind, the you and the yours and the ownership to take your life over, then all that consciousness will be seeing. That consciousness will be very selfish. And selfishness, again, is a reason, and it is a cause for you to end up in hell. So, devotees and friends, it tells to us, that we must bring that under control. It tells to us again that Brahma still remained very confused. After all this was done, Brahma remained very confused. But my dear friends, Brahma, Vishnu and Lord Shiva all give praise to Ganesha by that mantra. By that mantra, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha Om. And after a little while, when Bhagwan Ganesha have seen their great intense love and devotion for the mantra, he came to them and he said, after he had heard the speech, Gajananam spoke once more and he told to Brahma, Vishnu and Lord Shiva, he says, your devotion towards me will be rock solid. You all are very, very strong in devotion. You have not shaken. When you realized that there was no way for you to go forward, you then went and you did what you had to do. You have taken much trouble for the purpose of which you have come here. So choose a boon from me, because I am happy with that eulogy, that praise and that glory you have given to me. It says here, rising early in the morning, and I stress, and I underline, and I put in capital letters. All late risers, listen. Rising early in the morning, a wise person. Waking early in the morning, a wise person. W-I-S-E, wise. A wise person who is pure and always filled with devotion should recite it at the 3 divisions of the day. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. So he told them, he says, I am very, very pleased. Your devotion towards me will be rock solid. This is the first boon I give to you. And once you surrender yourself to Bhagwan, my dear friends, with a solid amount, intense devotion, he will, solidify your devotion. And that is what he did here. He says, your devotion towards me will be rock solid. Very fortunate gods. According you will overcome even the greatest difficulties. And now to please you, I will speak to each of you in turn about your duties. So he's not going to speak to them collectively. He's going to speak to them individually about their duties. He says, Brahma, since you have arisen from the Rajas, since you have come from the Rajas quality, you will be the creator. Vishnu, you came by the virtue of the Satogun, and you will undertake protection everywhere. And Hara is another name for Lord Shiva. Hara, since you have arisen from the Tamo qualities, you will be given the duty of destruction. My dear friends, this may sound, the word destruction here may sound a bit harsh. But if creation, sustenance, and destruction is not there, nothing happens in this world. And I'll tell to you, today have gone, the daylight have gone. Shiva came and destroyed today the daylight, and he brought tonight. Brahma created tonight. Vishnu Bhagwan will, sustain from that Sandhya this evening until Sandhya in the morning. And then Shiva again will come and destroy tonight, which will never come back to us. And then Brahma again will create tomorrow. So these three principles, I just don't want you to understand the name Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. I want you to understand the three principles. If somebody should come and tell to you Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva does not exist, all you have to ask, what will be this world or this universe if there are no creation, sustenance, and destruction? What will it be? And so, my dear friends, he then continued and he told to them, he says, O Brahma, for the purpose of creation, O Brahma, you the Supreme Self, I give to you the Vedas, the Shastras, and the Puranas. So Brahma was given the task to create, and he was given also to take care of the Vedas, the Shastras, and the Puranas. This is the capacity to create and other knowledge. So my dear friends, it's only when you have knowledge can you create. He gave Vishnu the power to take the form of his own choice by means of yoga. And that is why Vishnu Bhagwan, from time to time, yada yada hi dharmasya glanira bhavati bharata abhyuta nama dharmasya taratmanam srijanyaham. That is why Vishnu Bhagwan, from time to time will take birth, and he will come, Rama, Krishna, Narasimha, you have so many. We have 10 major ones. And so, my dear friends, that was the gift given to Vishnu Bhagwan, that he will have the power to take the form of his choice by means of yoga. And he was given the single syllable and 6-syllable mantra, Gam and Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, as well as he was given Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He was given that mantra for this Kali age. And so, my dear friends, to Shiva, the illustrious God, he gave the power to destroy. Then having, my dear friends, put his hands together, he hold his hands together in respect. The dejected Brahma spoke, and he says, the boon-giving world preceptor, Lord, of the triple world. But this power, Brahma is saying, this power I have received does not discriminate between what should be done, not be named. And I have never anything seen a creation which has diversity. How can I achieve, one having a cave here, a pond there? How can I create all of this when I have not seen anything at all? There, my dear friends, Ganesh Bhagwan then took Brahma. So Brahma, and I want you to understand that if you listen to the creation of Brahma, you hear they say the mind-born son of Brahma. Haven't you heard that? But if your mind doesn't know something, then you cannot create it. And Brahma had to create the universe, and all he knew was a cave. And there, my dear friends, Gajananam, Ganesha, took him within his belly. And there were eggs in the belly of Gajananam. And each one that Brahma cracked, he saw the entire universe in there. He saw ponds, river, mountains, human beings, animals, and everything else. And so, my dear friends, he cracked every egg until the last one. And so he had a view. He had a knowledge of all what the universe would need. And so he was able to create. He thanked Ganesha. He says, now I understand my role, and I will be able to perform my role. My dear friends, Brahma, you might say, oh gosh, he's a hardened boy. You would say that he might be hardened just like Dylan. But my dear friends, no. Dylan is hardened. So you have to seek clarity. And then he'll become the best boy among all the boys. That is what Brahma did. When everybody believed he was questioning too much. Seek clarity. And when he seek clarity from Ganesh Bhagwan took him inside, show him the universe. So now his mind is filled with what he have to create, and so he can create. Prem Sri Ganesha Bhagwan ki. So we saw this evening why Ganesh Bhagwan had this tree head is because he alone had the three principles of creation, sustenance, and destruction at that point in time. When he handed over to Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, he became that peaceful form there. The form that was hidden when the whole thing went down was the lingam at the back. The power and the consciousness, the Shiva and the Shakti, and then the Ganesh came forward and gave all things to the world. Principally Sri Ganesha Bhagwan ki. So tomorrow evening we are going to start Katha. We have now completed our foundation. We have now completed our introduction. We have now understand Ganesha and his role here with us all. How he will remove the obstacles. Ganesha Bhagwan ki. Somebody tell to me the time, please. Okay. Pandajai will sing us a song, and then we will. I don't know if you want to sing or you want to talk this evening, but I give him a few minutes to do his choice, and then we'll do Arati. Pandajai. Because I tell you, for the longest while, Pandit Jai have been with me, and if he wasn't there with me, I would not have been able to do as much as I am doing. Yes, I would have done, but I would not have been able to do as much as I can. So again, thank be to Pandit Jai, what he chose, I give him that choice.
Ikarvakta Shakti Bhagwan, the power of that speech emanation, that song vibration that traveled through the universe. There comes that Gam, Ganapati, as I described, and all human beings reach out and ask for a grace and mercy. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam. Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam. Trai Mam, Trai Mam.
Pahi Mam.
Sri Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, Rakshamam.
Sri Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, Rakshamam.
Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Pai Mam.
Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Pahi Mam.
Sri Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, Sri Ganesh, Rakshamam. All sing together. Plead to the Ganapati Ganesh to remove whatever obstacle, difficulties, that pathway. Trai Mam, come to my rescue, come to my help. Whatever sankat, problem, graha situation, unknown to you, I will comment to you. Oh Ganapati Ganesh Bhagwan, I submit myself. Oh Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Pai Mam. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam. Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Rakshamam. Ganesh Satvaram Ajna Nirkalam Nirakara Ekaram Ajnam Nirpalam Narek Karanam Niranan Ananda Aditya Puranam Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Rakshamam. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Rakshamam.
गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां
जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां
जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां
गम गम गणपतये नमः ॐ गम
गणपतये नमः
गम गम गणपतये नमः
ॐ गं गं गणपतये नमः
ॐ गम गणपतये नमः ॐ
गं
गम
गं
गणपतये
नमः
गम गणपतये नमः ॐ गम गणपतये नमः गम गणपतये नमः गम गणपतये पावो शरणं सांब शंकर के पावो शरणं सांब शंकर के सत्य सनातन शिव शुभ कर के सत्य सनातन शिव शुभ कर के अनघ स्वरूपा शशिधर की अनघ स्वरूपा शशिधर की मूल प्रदीक्षा शिव शंकर की शिव शंकर की शिव शंकर की शिव शंकर की पावो शरणं सांब शंकर की पावो शरणं सांब शंकर की ओम नमः शिवाय 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 अप्पाजी स्वामी जी 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 वैकुंठनाथ श्री हरे वैकुंठनाथ श्री हरे पांडुरंग विठ्ठला पांडुरंग हरे पांडुरंग विठ्ठला पांडुरंग हरे पंढरीनाथ पुराण पूर्वा पंढरीनाथ पुराण पूर्वा पंढरीनाथ पुराण पूर्वा पांडुरंग 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 हरे पांडुरंग हरे पांडुरंग हरे पांडुरंग हरे
पांडुरंग हरे
पावो शरणं सांब शंकर की 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 सांब शंकर की सांब शंकर की विठ्ठल 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 पांडुरंग विठ्ठल 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 पांडुरंग 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 हरे पांडुरंग हरी जय जय पांडुरंग हरे
पांडुरंग हरी जय जय पांडुरंग हरे
ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वर पांडुरंग हरे ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वर पांडुरंग हरे पांडुरंग हरे जय जय पांडुरंग हरे पांडुरंग हरे जय जय
पांडुरंग हरे
पांडुरंग हरि जय जय पांडुरंग
हरे पांडुरंग हरे जय जय पांडुरंग हरे
गम गणपतये नमः
गं गणपतये नमः
गम गणपतये गजानन स्वामी की जय
Om Sri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. So we now have the cracking of the coconuts and arti. Who are cracking coconuts this evening? Come forward. प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय. May you all please stand. Putting the hands together, closing the physical eyes. We all concentrate and meditate upon that Divine Master, Sri Ganesh, and ask of him to remove all obstacles from our path as we continue to worship him in this very auspicious occasion of the Ganesh Utsav. Hari Om. Om Sri Krishna Krishna Sigay Pavitya Mamasya Vidya Pradvem Shri Rival Kalipati Saptame Vaivasman Vantar Kalipatam Charane Jambu Dvipe West Indies Kande Arvatarike Desh Antargate Trinidad Desh. Hari Om Sri 56 Mapipi Road Whiteland Chetre Grami Bhautavatari Tadpari. Namo Narayanaye Namo Namaham Om Gajananang Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapita Jambhu Palasara Bhakshanam Uma Sutam Shoka Vinashikarakam Namami Viganeshwar Parapankajam. Om Sri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. जय गणेश, जय गणेश.
माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव.
इलधुवन का भोग लागे संत कर सेवा. इलधुवन का भोग लागे संत कर सेवा. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. हरि बोल. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. लदुवन का भोग लागे संत कर सेवा. लदुवन के भोग लागे संत कर सेवा. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती
पिता महादेव.
एक दंत धायवंत चार भुज धारे. एक दंत धायवंत चार भुज धारे. मस्तक सिंदूर सोहे मुसकी ये सवारी. जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेव. माता तेरो पार्वती पिता
महादेव.
चढ़ावे मेवा, और चढ़ावे फूल चढ़ावे और चढ़ावे मेवा। भजन के पुत्र देख निर्धन को माया।
जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता तेरो पार्वती पिता महादेवा।
माता तेरो पार्वती नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया ओम गम गणपति
नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः
हरि बोल
गणपति बाबा मोरया गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया
गम गणपति नमो नमः
सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया
गम गणपति नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः
अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया
ओम गम गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक
नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया
गम गणपति
नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया गम गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया गणपते नमो नमः सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बाबा मोरया
Put in the hands together, closing the physical eyes. You all pray to Ganesha Bhagwan. Whatever wish you have, whatever desire you have, lay it at the feet of Bhagwan Ganesha, and he will grant you that wonderful wish. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. O Sri Ganesh, this wonderful evening, we present ourselves at your lotus-like feet. We surrender to you, O Bhagwan Ganesh. Help us. In whatever way the devotees need your touch this evening, O Ganesha, you touch them. If they need that healing hands this evening, O Ganesha, you heal them. If their minds are confused, O Ganesha, you give them the lamp of your knowledge. O Ganesha, if their mind have hate and anger, give them your arms of compassion so that love will prevail. Peace will be prevailing in the life of all, and all will be happy. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorama Amritam Gamaya. Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasika Tvameva Tvameva Vidyam Dravinam Tvamevam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Devam. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Ganesh Bhagwan ki, Shankar Bhagwan ki, Aad Shakti Parvati Mata ki, Sanatan Dharma ki, Om Sri Guru Devata ki Jai Jai Sitaram. All please have your seat. Arti Prasad and meals will meet you all. Sitaram to all.